The question that comes up over that will occur is that where was the man during the conversation? The man was with the woman, that is, Adam was with Eve during the conversation between Eve and the serpents. However, it was the woman who took up the frontline position, that is, he led in the conversation, whilst the man took a laid back position. Meanwhile, it is Adam who was first created in the garden and has been in the garden for a very long time and knows everything about the garden and as such has related to God for a very long time. But here we find him take a laid back position. Meanwhile, God ordained Adam or the man of the man as the leader of the home, as the prophet and the pastor of the home, as the spiritual head of the home. And as such, he is supposed to receive from God the direction for the family always. But here we find the woman take up the frontline position. And we should note that whenever the woman of the home or if whenever she takes up or she systematically and strategically forcefully take up the position that God has or the office that God has placed in the hands of man, it always leads to a fall and a disaster, as was done happen in the Garden of Eden. That is, whenever the arm tries to take up the position of the legs, that man behaves like an animal. So that is what happened in the garden. The woman took up the frontline position, and there was a fall. This is where I call on the men to stand up and be up and doing in their position as the leader of the home, as the prophet and the pastor of the home, as the spiritual head of the home. They should stand up and they should not let the woman takes up the run of the home. As far as spirituality is concerned, for when there is a disaster or when there is a fall, the blame will always comes to the man. Here we find out in the garden that it was the woman who initiated and orchestrated the conversation that led to the fall of man. But when you go to Romans 5, verse 12 to 14, it is described as the sin of Adam, though he was not the one who set up, the, who caused the fall, who caused the conversation and the fall. But the Bible and God describes it, labels it as the sin of Adam. So if we do not stand up, if we do not stand up and take our position in the family as the spiritual head, in case of any fall, in case of any disaster, we will be blamed for it. And to the men in the homes who have deserted their position as the spiritual head, take back the mantle and run with it. Or we will regret after all that we've done. After doing everything to meet the social needs, we need to also provide for the spiritual needs of the family.